Hi everyone. Hello. It's nighttime, so the lighting is going to be terrible. I am also sick, so I sound terrible. I'm going to be coughing a lot and probably blowing my nose a lot. But I still wanted to go live. So here we are. Hi everyone. I have so many life updates from the past like week and a half. I don't even know when I last... My phone's about to die. I don't even know when I last live streamed. Of course my last live stream is not monetized because that happens like every time now. Last time I streamed was the 7th, so it's been a while. It's been almost 2 weeks. Oh, but here we are. Life has been an absolute like shit show the past couple of weeks. I'm not even gonna lie, that's why I haven't really been uploading much and live streaming. Obviously I'm sick, but there's more that went on with that. Yes, ma'am? My cat just tried to jump up here. Hi, everyone. I'm not gonna say all of your names because my throat hurts, but I see you. And I dyed my hair purple today. And you know, it wasn't supposed to come out as vibrant purple as it is, but and it's more vibrant in person. The camera like is really muted, but it's like a very bright purple. But on camera it looks like a plum, but it's like it's bright. I bleached my hair this morning to see like how light it could get, to see if I could get platinum. And well, I did a bleach bath because I didn't want to do a full bleaching, and it still just keeps turning like really orange. And it just wasn't light enough to go platinum, so I just put purple for right now. And I put too much purple because now it's just like purple. And it was just supposed to be like a light glazing of purple, but it's fine. It's gonna fade after I wash it a couple times anyway. But anyway, where shall I start? Let me get my crochet stuff out so I'm actually crocheting while I chat with you guys, because you guys know I just sit here and talk and don't actually crochet at all, which we don't need. I love purple. I have not had purple hair in actually quite a long time, so I'm vibing with it. I feel like Raven from Teen Titans. I know, thank you. I don't know why I said I know. Thank you. I meant I know that it complements my skin tone because people always tell me every single time I have purple hair that it goes well with my skin tone. The last time I had semi-purple hair was January of last year, so it's been an entire year since I've had purple hair. So there's that. Okay, anyway, first bag is still not completely completed. I'm gonna talk about my shop stuff real quick. Because I have been so sick, I haven't really been doing anything but sleeping, if I'm being honest with you guys. So I have not really done too much other than just work on granny squares for the next bag. So this one's almost done. I just need to do the charm and the fabric on the inside, but I didn't have the energy to do all of that, and then the pouch is done too. And then I made all of the granny squares for the second bag. And also for the pouch. While I was sick, I filmed a little video of me crocheting for 24 hours. That'll be out eventually, but sorry the lighting is so bad. It's literally nighttime, so I wonder how it looks if I turn that off. I think my glasses are just leaving a glare, but you guys can see how tired I am when I take my glasses off, and I don't like that, so. I don't know. I need, like, better lighting. I think I just need to do... I need to do 2 more pink squares, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that for the pouch. But yeah, I did all of that, so I just need to sew all of these together next after I do 2 more. And then I just have 3 bags to make. I cut off my shop because my hand surgery is in 2 weeks, and now I'm gonna talk about that too. So let me get my stuff out real quick. Oh, also, one of my friends got me this, and I have it on my crochet bag. You guys see it? It's Hello Kitty. It was a mystery box or a mystery bag, and I got Hello Kitty. She's not facing forward. How do I get her to face forward? There she is. And it has like sparkles in it. It's so cute. My friend got me it. And I love her. So I keep her on my crochet bag because she's cute. Anyway. Get out my supplies here. And I'm almost dwindling down on my pink, but I have a bunch of other skeins, so let's get started here. Put this down a little bit. Alright. So my brain is a little scatterbrained right now. So I do apologize if I'm like a little slow with answering or just my thoughts. I'm like not completely here, honestly. So basically on, okay, let me just start out with this magic ring first. I have a hard time talking and crocheting at the same time. At least like starting. Okay. Awesome. There is someone at my front door, to be fair. It's just Amazon! Mochi! We get it. He's like, Mom, there's an intruder. Mom, why aren't you freaking out? No! Little shithead. He's literally not gonna stop. Oh, they're dancing. They do this weird dance thing. I don't know why they do it. I don't know if anybody else's dogs do it. But Dobby will like stand on top of him and they'll just go in circles and do like this weird dance. And I don't know why they do it. I think she's like antagonizing him. I wanted to see if they'll do it again. No, leave me alone. My shoes are all over the floor. Actually, everything is all over the floor. I don't even know why my center is right there, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. You just trying to take off with my sock. I don't know if y'all saw that. Why? I don't even know where he got that. Lay down! We don't... It's not playtime. It's not playtime. They're so overstimulating. Okay, let me finish this damn magic circle, guys. Oh my god. If I finish the magic circle, then I can focus enough to talk. But I really need to get these done because my hand surgery is in 2 weeks. So, if y'all ordered something from me, you're probably gonna get it decently soon because I am rushing to get these bags done and everything. Okay. Pull it closed. Okay. The beginning of the square has been started. Let me check on Twitch. I keep forgetting that I stream on Twitch. Alright, let me go grab the package from the front door because there are a lot of thieves out here that like to follow Amazon trucks. And then I'm gonna update you guys with what's been going on. I would show you guys what's in the Amazon package, but it's for a new video because I ordered the S25 Ultra. And I say order because I did order it, but I get free upgrades with AT&T at any time. So I didn't have to pay anything. So I'm getting a new phone, not for free, but a free upgrade. Because why not? And I've been seeing videos about the S25 Ultra, and it looks really, really nice, and I actually prefer the round edges. So the phone is actually supposed to be coming tomorrow, but the AT&T requires a signature, and I work every day, so I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I even logged into UPS to pre-sign for it, because, you know, usually you can do that, but AT&T has a restriction where you can't pre-sign for the package. So I don't really know if I like can just answer my doorbell when I'm at work and be like, you can leave it there, just sign for me. Like, I don't know if that's allowed, but I'm gonna try, because I mean, I work every day, so I mean, there's no possible way that somebody can be here to sign for it unless they get here before or after I'm at work. Like, I love my phone. I love it, but like the S25 looks amazing, and it's also lighter than the S24, and this phone is pretty damn heavy. So the S25 is lighter, and it also has round edges, and I don't mind the corners, but if I could choose over the square or the rounded edges, I would choose rounded edges just because I think aesthetically it looks better. And also, this phone is only 256 gigabytes, and I've already filled it up, and I've only had the phone for a couple of months, so I ordered the 500 and blah 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 size because I needed more storage. I've actually never had anybody steal anything here, but I've been seeing people on the Ring app in my city talking about pirates, so nobody really knows where my neighborhood is because it's like tucked into the woods. So yeah, also like all of my neighbors have guns, and they make that very apparent, very obvious that they have guns. So I've never had an issue with anybody stealing anything, or my neighbors, but you know. I have no interest in going back to Apple at all, but I do really want the S25 Ultra, and if I can get it for free, then why not? And I say free as in like I just get a free upgrade. I do pay monthly for my phone. I do not pay for my phone outright because I can't afford $1,200 just to throw $1,200. I wish I could pay in cash because then I just, you know, it'd be paid off. But I can't do that, so I pay monthly for almost all of my devices. I pay monthly for my phone, for my iPad, and my watch because they all have cellular service on them. So I just pay monthly for them. My iPad's almost paid off though. But yeah, with AT&T's Next Up program, you can upgrade your phone at any time as long as you turn in the old one. So basically they ship me the new phone, and then there's like a little shipping label in the package, and I just put my old phone in there and ship it back to them. And then you get your new phone, and that's it. It's that easy. I've done it so many times. I could never do 64 gigabytes. Also, I take way too many pictures, and I use my phone as like a second video camera, so I needed more storage for sure. So I got the biggest storage that was available, which is like the 500 and something, because I needed it. But unfortunately, they only had the pink color if you bought it straight with like cash or whatever on Samsung's website, and I can't do that. So I got the titanium gray, which is like a really pretty goldish color. I wanted the silver, the white one, but that one was sold out, and I'm just impatient and I didn't want to wait for it. But the titanium gray is really pretty. It has like a really nice like coppery sheen to it. I don't know why they call it titanium gray, because it doesn't look gray to me at all, but that one looks really pretty, and it has like a really pretty like coppery gold sheen to it, which I really like. I do like the color of this phone, but it's a little too dark for me. I really like light colored tech, white, silver, pinks, but I do love the purple. It's just I would prefer a lighter colored one, but I wish they had the pink from through AT&T, but they don't. I feel like I'm gonna lose my voice during this stream. Oh no, Goopy Chew! Anyway, so yeah, new phone video coming soon. And honestly, I kind of just wanted to order the new phone because so many of you guys have been asking if I'm gonna get it. And so many of you guys have been asking for me to do like a review on it and stuff. And those videos of mine perform so well that like what I get paid from making the videos kind of just pays for the phone, you know? And I feel like that's worth it for me because I love making tech content. I just can't afford to buy new technology all the time, so I can't make it more. But I love making tech content. I think it is so fun. I love it. Like I wish I could do it all the time. But yeah, new phone video probably coming by the end of the week. And those are all the accessories for it. I bought a really cute case with flowers on it and a flower pop socket. I got a new watch band too because my watch band is still Halloween, which we love Halloween, but I wanted to get a flower watch band to match my new phone case and stuff, so yeah. I also need to put my nails on. Thank you, Catherine. But anyway, let me talk to you guys about what's been going on in my life the past like 2 weeks. I am going to be talking about my health a lot, so if that like triggers anybody, you may have to leave, but nothing too crazy. I don't think. I'm just telling you about like the crazy experiences that I've had. So 2 Saturdays ago, or was it? Yeah, so the 8th, I was at work, and I was fine the entire morning. I worked, I think, 9 to 5 that day, and I was fine, hanging out with my friend. We were having a silly, goofy time, and all of a sudden, I was, like, sitting at the front desk, and I got hit with, like, a wave of, like, heat. I've never, like, I've kind of felt this before. You know that feeling when you are about to pass out and your body starts, like, sweating and you get, like, really, like, wavy and dizzy? That's how it felt, but, like, different. I'm gonna go blonde eventually. Believe it or not, you could still get blonde after having purple hair. I'm a librarian, So, you know, I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was sitting there and wasn't running around, wasn't doing anything crazy, and then I just got hit with like this wave of heat, and then I kind of like blacked out for like a minute. I do not remember anything. And for like a minute, I was lucid, but I like didn't remember. It was so weird. Like, I remember looking over at my friend Rachel and being like, I feel weird. I remember saying to her, I feel weird. And then I remember like looking over at her and not being able to see her. Like, I couldn't see at all. And I was like really wavy. Like, I kept going like this. And I was like, and then she goes, okay, like, do you need to go sit in the back for a couple minutes? And I was like, yeah. So I went and I sat in the back, and then I started like hyperventilating. And like, I've been having chest pains for like a couple of weeks now, and I was having chest pain, and like my arms were numb and like my back was numb. So I'm like, oh my fucking god, like, am I having a heart attack? I was not having a heart attack, but like, that's where my mind was going, because I was having all of the symptoms of having a heart attack. And I was like sweating profusely. Like, my coworker and my friend, she was like putting ice all over my body and like giving me ice so I could like cool down. And I was just like not really like there. I was like dissociating a lot. I didn't really know what was going on. So I was like, oh my god. And like, it was so uncomfortably painful that at that moment I was like, I need to call 911. Like, I panicked because my anxiety was also like high. Really, Twyla? Why did you do that? My anxiety was also like super, super high because I was panicking, like, what if I'm having a heart attack? So then my anxiety was making everything worse too. So I was like, I need to call 911. Like, I was like freaking out. I was like, but then I like tried to breathe and like relax and like lay my head down. I had my like little desk fan blowing on me, and I tried to like calm down, and I was like super shaky, and like I calmed down, but I was still having like the dull chest pain. I was shaking a lot. So there's an urgent care that's like 10 minutes away from my job. So I made an appointment to the urgent care to go after work. So I went after work. Well, I had to call my parents because I couldn't drive because I was so dizzy. Like, I literally would, and as soon as I got in the car, I was like I would have crashed if I was driving. So my dad took me to urgent care, and honestly, the urgent care experience was incredible. I have never had, it wasn't even a doctor, it was a PA, I believe. I've never had someone so incredible. I mean, she was amazing. She really like listened to me and like cared about what I was saying and like believed me. And she was like, we'll do every test that we can possibly do here, because, you know, urgent cares are not hospitals. They don't have all these like crazy things that they can test me for. They can't test me. They can't do blood work. They can't do any of that stuff. But she was like, we'll do EKG. We'll do a chest ray. We'll do an x-ray on your chest. We'll check your glucose and like, you know, prick your finger. We'll check your blood pressure. And then check your urine and stuff, because that's all that they could do. Everything came back fucking normal. Everything. And like, it's not even just normal. What irritates me the most, and I know this is a good thing, but when you are feeling so chronically ill for months, and every single time you get a test done, they're like, your tests are beautiful. It looks amazing. Like, you are just the epitome of health. I hear that every time, and I know that's a good thing, but I'm like, if all of my tests are coming back so remarkable, then why do I always feel so terrible? Okay, and this is just not like just now. Like, for the past year, I am always sick. I'm literally sick like once a month. Always sick. And I've never had these issues in my life. I'm always lightheaded and I'm always sick for like the past year. And they were like, every test is normal, but you know, your episode that you had was not normal. So she was like, I really recommend that you still go to the ER because you could have a blood clot. Because you know, you can't see blood clots with an x-ray. You have to get a CT scan done, and they don't do CT scans at the urgent care. And the reason I went to urgent care instead of the hospital was because my copay for urgent care is only $75, but my copay for the ER is $2,000, okay? Just to be seen. So obviously I didn't want to go to the ER. And she was like, I really recommend that you still go to the ER because they can do full blood work, they can do CT scans, they can do like, you know, MRIs, they can do those tests that like we can't do here, and I really think that you need to go get that done. And I was like, okay, well, I can't afford to go to the ER, so I'm just gonna go home with no answers, I guess. And then she referred me to a cardiologist, and I made a cardiologist appointment. I don't know if I'm gonna go yet. I have the appointment for the beginning of March, so we'll see. But I didn't go, and then the next day I felt worse because she was like, if you feel worse, you need to go to the ER. And I'm like, ugh. So I woke up the next day, went to work again. At work again, I was like super dissociating. Like all of my coworkers were like, Alyssa, like, are you there? Are you there? Because I was like, I couldn't focus, and I was sweaty, and like my body temp kept changing, and every time I'm like super active or just not doing more than just sitting, I'm like dizzy. Okay, so the next day when I was at work, I was like, okay, I feel worse. My heart pain is like still very much there. And then like my head was pounding. Like it hurts right now too. But it was like, I've had chronic migraines my entire life. So that's not new to me. But it was like everything happening at the same time. And then I'm also like sweating because I feel like shit. So I was getting like these shocks of pain like behind my eyes. No medications I was taking was helping. Because I was like, well, maybe it's just heartburn. But every single time I take anti-heartburn or whatever it's called, anti-acid medications, it does nothing for me. I need to pop my back. I wonder if I can do it in this chair. Ah, yeah, that felt good. Sorry guys, I'm like really out of it. Yes, ma'am. So yeah, my computer screen keeps turning off. I think Twyla's under there pressing things. No. Go lay down. You're fine. So yeah, I felt worse the next day, so I called my parents because I don't have anybody else. And I was like, I got through my work shift because like I need to work. I can't afford to just like not be at work, right? So I got through my work shift and I was able to drive myself home, which was scary because it was raining, it was at night, and I was dizzy. I definitely should not have been driving, but I drove myself home. When I got home, and this is a TMI, guys, I told you, like, if you get wheezy, as soon as I got home, I threw up like everywhere because I was so dizzy, and just my body was like expelling itself, if you know what I mean, on everywhere. So I, you know, was like laying down and I was like, I think I need to go to the ER because I'm like, what if something is like seriously not right? I don't know. Like, I was just like, I guess I need to spend the $2,000. So that's what I did. And guys, this was probably the worst medical experience I've ever had in my life. And I'm still like really pissed about it. There's a gnat that's bothering me. Did I kill it? Okay, so I went the hospital. It was like, I got there at like 7:30 p.m. The lobby was very full when I got there. Everyone was coughing, a lot of old people, a lot of sick people were there, right? And I got there, and as soon as I walked in and told them they did an EKG, of course the EKG came back normal because they did an EKG just a day prior and it was normal, so I knew it would be. And then another guy took me back to collect my urine because they were supposed to do a urinalysis and a pregnancy test before I was seen by the nurses and stuff, so it was ready. They didn't do that. And I get that hospitals are busy and they're like understaffed, like, but this was like a terrible experience. So I wasn't in the waiting room for too long. I want to say that I was there in the waiting room for maybe like an hour and a half, which is fine because when I went to the same hospital for my hand last year, I was in the waiting room for like 5 or 6 hours. So I'll take an hour and a half, right? So they took me to a hallway, and I had a hallway bed. So I was laying in a hallway in between, there's like big desks where like all the nurses and doctors are. So there was like a big desk, me in a bed in the hallway, and then another desk. So I was stuck in between like all of the nurses and doctors with just a little curtain to cover my bed. Which, whatever. But also, I was there, guys, for 9 hours. 9 hours. And the reason I was there for 9 hours was because they just kept forgetting about me. And they were just doing things wrong. So, first of all, had 2 nurse men. One was my age, which, good for him, but also, he was being trained, okay? And I don't want to talk badly because I know that he was learning, but he also was not listening to the guy that was training him, right? So the guy that was training him was great. I wish I just had him because it would have been a better experience. But I got thrown with the guy who doesn't know what he's doing. And he didn't ask me pretty much anything. Like he was just like, what's going on? And then I, tried to explain to him, and he was like, okay. He didn't type anything out. He didn't ask me if I was on any medications. He didn't ask me if I have any underlying health conditions. He asked me nothing other than like, okay, what happened? And then I need to blow my nose. This is the most talking I've done in 2 weeks, so I'm gonna mute the mic so I can blow my nose real quick. Um, so I was thrown with this nurse guy that didn't know what he was doing. And then he was like, okay, we need to do, he was like, have you gotten an EKG done before? And I was like, yes, I got one done at urgent care yesterday. And I got one as soon as I walked in to this hospital today, like an hour ago. And he was like, okay. And then he starts setting me up for an EKG. And I was like, okay, whatever. I still had all of the stickers all over my chest because just in case they needed to do another one. So I pulled up my shirt and he goes, oh, you already had one? And I was like, yeah, I literally just told you that I've had 2 of them. Like I literally just said it out of my mouth that I had 2 of them. And he was like, oh, okay, we don't need to do another one then. And I'm like, okay, cool. So then he kind of just takes his little computer and walks away 2 feet to the nurse's station, like right there. And I can hear him talking with like the guy training him. And the guy training him was like, you know, did you ask her about like any heart attacks in the family? Did you ask her, you know, if she's have any neurological issues? Did you ask her this? Did you ask her that? And he was like, no. And still nobody came and asked me. And I've been having nosebleeds and stuff too, right? So he didn't ask me any of that. You know, I was trying to explain to him what was going on, but he was talking over me and asking me questions that were, in my opinion, just not important, because I think he was like just overwhelmed and he didn't really know what he was doing. So then I needed an IV in my arm and he couldn't find my vein and he left the like bandage thing like tied on my arm. And you know, my arm was turning purple because he left it on for so long. And I literally like looked at the guy that was training him and I was like, somebody needs to put this in right now because this is hurting. Like I literally said that to him. I said, I'm not trying to be a bitch, but this is literally hurting. Like, can you please just put my IV in and get my blood? Like I'm gonna go crazy. Like I was literally, he was like, they were chatting it up and like my mom was like chatting it up with them and distracting them and it was annoying me. Go lay down. And he was just like literally pissing me off. And they got the IV in and then they were like, okay, we're gonna go give all this information to the doctor. I was like, okay, cool. I don't know. 2 hours later, I don't know, the time, I was there for literally like 9 hours. So I guess 2 hours later, a doctor finally like comes up to me and he asks me, you know, what's going on again. And then, you know, my mom, and also keep in mind, guys, like my brain was like so jumbled. I was dissociating like the entire time. Like when you're sick, like I couldn't remember anything. And my mom, thankfully, like she was there because she was like, well, she's on birth control and she has thyroid disease. Like, could these be causing these issues? Because, you know, birth control has so many side effects, stroke and blood clots, heart attacks, like those are symptoms of birth control. And he was like, oh, I had no idea you had thyroid disease. We need to check your thyroid. And I'm like, you would have known that if you just look in my chart, which my chart, everything is Wellstar. So like it should have all been in there. And also if the nurse asked me what medications I was on, then maybe we would know that I have thyroid issues because they had already drawn all of my blood to do like full blood panels, like CBCs and all that. So they had to come back and get more blood because I told the doctor what was going on and the doctor was like, okay, we need to do a test to check your heart enzymes. We need to do a test to just check your heart for blood clots because there's a test that like shows if you could have blood clots or not. And we need to check your thyroid. So then he was like, we're going to do that and then see what those results look like and give you some fluids while you're waiting. I'm like, okay, cool. an hour later, the nurses come back to draw my blood. So then I had to wait for the results for another like hour for the blood. And the doctor comes back and he's like, well, your thyroid levels are high, so my thyroid medications need to be increased, which I don't see my primary care doctor till next week. So, and I had to schedule that primary care appointment like 3 months ago. So there's no way for me to like get it sooner. But it wasn't like deathly high. Like my thyroid level was just a couple points higher than it was supposed to be. So that's not like a big issue. So that'll get fixed next week when I get a new dose of thyroid meds. But he said my D-dimer test was high. And it was explained to me that that means that my heart enzymes are high, okay? That is what it was explained to me. And my mom was there, and I was like, I did not hallucinate this, right? Like, he said, your heart enzymes are high. We need to figure out why they're high. So we need to do a CT scan and an x-ray on your chest to make sure that you don't have any blood clots in your heart and in your lungs, and make sure that you don't have any blood clots in your legs. So we need to do an ultrasound on your legs. And I was like, okay. And at that point, I felt very validated because I was like, okay, my heart enzymes are really high. So that means I'm not just being dramatic. Like, I felt so validated because I'm like, I know that my body doesn't feel right. And I know that my body is feeling weird and not normal. And this is telling me, like, yeah, it is high. And I can even show you guys the test. Like, I felt so validated in that moment, just hearing, like, yeah, it's not normal. We need to test it. Let me make sure nothing important's on here. Here was the test. This is the D-dimer test, okay? It was explained to me that that means my heart enzymes are high. But I'm gonna tell you guys later that when I filed a complaint, another doctor called me and told me that's not what that means at all. It just basically means that you could have a blood clot. But, like, also, why is it still high? Because, like, if it's high, couldn't it still be high right now? He sends in for a CT scan, an ultrasound. I go back for the first CT scan with contrast, with and without contrast.
ACHRA just subscribed.
Thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much. Anyway. Oh, you're my 10th subscriber on Twitch. So I go back for a CT scan with and without contrast, and I hate CT scans with contrast. That is like literally the weirdest feeling ever. And I get the CT scan done and I get the ultrasound done, and they're like, okay, it's probably gonna take like an hour or 2 hours to get the results. And I'm like, awesome, because keep in mind, guys, the entire time I was there, my parents were my drivers, okay? And they were complaining non-stop about having to be there with me. And nothing is more frustrating when you don't feel good to have the person around you just complaining that they don't want to be there, right? So I was like really sad. I wanted to cry. And I just felt like I was annoying everybody and like nobody wanted to be around me. And then they were like, well, it's going to take like 2 hours to get the results back. And by that point, the night shift people were leaving. It was like 2 or 3 a.m. at this point. I don't even know. And, okay. Crystal, you're hilarious. So yeah, I felt like I was like just being annoying just for like needing help, which is a terrible feeling. And So at this point, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, so they had a shift change. So, I went from... Oh, also, I forgot to mention, the doctor that I had for, like, that 10 minutes that I talked to him, when he came back with my blood results, he was like, you know, we need to do the CT scan and stuff, but I think that you should go get tested for what I think was POTS, but he said the, like, scientific term for it, so I'm not 100% sure if it was 100% POTS, but he was like, even if these tests come back normal, I want you to follow up with a primary care doctor and get more tests done, and depending on what your primary care doctor says, you still need to go to the cardiologist. And I was like, okay. And he explained basically that, like, what could be happening is, like, my blood and my nerves, instead of going to my head like normal people, it's going to, like, the bottom half of my body, which causes me to get dizzy and black out if I stand up too fast and stuff like that. So he was like, maybe you need to get tested for some type of, like, POTS syndrome, or just see that. So I was like, okay, thank you. But keep in mind, we had a shift change. So the doctor was like, I'm not going to be on your case anymore. It's time for me to go home. You're now going to be seeing my PA. And you're going to get a new nurse. Now, this was when everything, like, really just started to piss me off, when we had the shift change. Because at that point, I just really feel like nobody cared about me at all. It was switched to a new nurse, who checked on me once the rest of the, like, 5 hours I was there. I had to go to the bathroom, but I couldn't unhook myself. So I kept, like, and the button to call a nurse or anything, like, wasn't working. Nobody was paying attention to me. I was so thirsty because I was there for so long with no water or anything. Like, they gave me fluids, but, like, my throat's dry, you know? Let me blow my nose again. I also wanted to mention that this guy was not a student. He was just training because he got a new job at Wellstar. He was not a student. He had already graduated. Okay, this nurse was like a nurse. He was just not a good one. But yeah, there was a shift change. The new nurse guy was fucking weird. He, like, came into the curtain and gave me very creepy vibes. And he was like, hey, I'm Michael, I'm helping you today. And he just leans over, presses a button, checks my blood pressure, walks away. And I was like, oh, okay. Didn't know anything about the PA or anything like that. And, oh, first of all, I forgot to mention, it took me forever to go back for the first CT scan because, they never did my pregnancy test. Like, the original guy that got my urine, like, 10 minutes within me getting there, never ran my urine for a pregnancy test. And the nurse guy, who didn't know what he was doing, was just standing around. So my mom, she was like, when is she going to be taken back for a CT scan? Like, we've been sitting here for like an hour. And, the nurse was like, oh, we're waiting for a pregnancy test. And I'm like, okay, I already gave my urine, like, I don't know, 4 hours ago. And he was like, what, you did? And I'm like, yes, they took my urine. I've already told you this. Like, they took my urine, like, hours ago. Like, do you guys not see this in the chart? And at this point, I was getting, like, irritated and bitchy because I'm like, can I please get somebody who's fucking competent? Like, And so they were like, okay, well, we need you to give us more blood, or you need to go pee again so we can do a pregnancy test. We can't do that. We can't do a CT scan until we do the pregnancy test. So I was like, okay, I need to fucking pee. So I went to go pee, and they did the pregnancy test, and then they took me for the CT scan, the first one, okay? After the first CT scan and ultrasound, I waited like an hour and a half, and this entire time, remember how I am in the hallway, right? So I am being surrounded by all of the nurses. I can hear what's going on in all of the rooms around me. So I can hear people vomiting. I can hear coughing. I can hear crying. I can hear just traumatic things all around me. This one lady came in who went to the psych ward. And apparently she comes in like frequently because she is mentally ill. And I could hear everything that was wrong with her. Like, the lady is mentally ill because she like lost a baby years beforehand, but she always hallucinates that she's pregnant, and she always comes in thinking that she's like losing a baby, so she pretends to vomit everywhere, or she'll make herself vomit everywhere, and apparently she does it all the time. And I understand as a nurse that's probably so irritating having to deal with that, but also like, this lady is obviously going through something like mentally terrible and she needs help, right? But apparently the lady was like declining anything that they wanted to do. So I understand why they were frustrated, but they were like shit talking this lady, right? They were making fun of everything about her loudly. They were cussing so loudly. And listen, I cuss all the fucking time, you guys know that. So that didn't really bother me too much. But the nurses, all of the nurses around me were very loudly making fun of like every patient that they would come out of a room. They would just start talking shit. They were like talking shit to each other. This one nurse kept saying like, why do I always get the psychopaths? Why do I always have to deal with the psycho people? And I'm like, you guys are the nurses. Like, you guys, the whole purpose of you going to school to be a nurse is to help people and not judge people, correct? So like, why are you openly being like, why do I have to deal with the psych ward people? Why do I have to do this? This is so crazy. And they're like openly making fun of her. And like, I could hear them making fun of literally everyone. And then before I met the PA, I knew the PA's name because in Wellstar, whenever you get a new doctor or physician or nurse change, you get a text being like, this is your new doctor. They're going to come see you within 30 minutes. Or they'll text you and be like, your doctor ordered a CT scan, and you'll get a text every single time something is ordered. So I got a text being like, your PA's name is blah, blah, blah. And I could hear her. I couldn't see her because I had a curtain, but I could hear her talking. And I could hear the nurse like explaining to the PA like what happened with me, like what's going on, what we're waiting for. And I out loud heard her say, well, she's really young, so she probably just has an infection and she's being dramatic about it, is what I heard her say about me. And as soon as she said it, all of the nurses were like, shh, shh, shh. And like, obviously we're probably pointing to my curtain because it was me. Like, I knew she was talking about me because they said my zone number, which was on top of my head. And then they also were shushing her because I was obviously like 10 feet away from the desk and I heard everything that she said. So I immediately like mentally shut down because I was like, oh, this PA is already like having preconceived notions that I'm just a young person who's being dramatic about my health. When I never go to the doctor, guys, unless I feel like I have to. I have been in the ER literally twice in my entire life. And it was for my hand last year and for me being sick this year. Like, I don't go to the doctor unless I have to because I hate going to the doctor. I'm not going to go to the ER unless I feel like I need to. And I heard her, talking badly. And then she comes into my little curtain because that's all I had. And she goes, and keep in mind, I don't know how old you have to be PA, but she looked way younger than me. She literally looked like she was like 21. I was like, oh god. And age doesn't necessarily matter, but like, I could tell, I in my head I was like, are you really talking shit about my age when you're definitely younger than me? Like, I don't know. And she was like, well, you see, we did the CT scan, but the contrast didn't seem to work correctly, so we need to order another CT scan. And at this point, I was like, angry, right? Because I'm like, what do you mean you messed up the first CT scan? She was like, well, maybe like your arm just was like too bent and the contrast didn't get to your heart correctly, like we need to do it again. And I'm like, okay, we need to order this now. I've already been here for like 6 hours. We need to get the CT scan done. Like, they need to come get me now because I'm gonna have to wait another hour for the results. Like, that's what it irritates me. It's like, I have to get the CT scan done, but it takes an hour for them to get the results again afterwards. So I was like, okay, we need to get this ordered and we need to do it. And, you know, my mom was about to leave at this point because she started like yelling at the PA because she was like, we have literally been here for 6 hours and you mean to tell me that y'all messed up on the CT scan. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna go order it like immediately. Like they're gonna come get you as soon as possible. An hour and a half later, no one has came and gotten me for the second CT scan, okay? It was like an hour and a half because I was looking at my watch at this point. And keep in mind, I was doing nothing but laying there. I didn't feel comfortable going to sleep because I'm out in the open in a hallway. I'm not gonna go to sleep. That's super vulnerable. I don't want to do that. I was too dizzy to read. I was too dizzy to really be on my phone. So I was just laying there for the entire time that I was there. Actually, I was probably there longer. I don't even know. I was definitely there for like 9 or 10 hours. I don't know. The time went crazy. They did my second CT scan, and then I had to wait another hour. And after that hour, she comes back and she goes, well, your test looks perfect, so you can go home. And I was like, okay. She was like, you don't have any blood clots, so there's nothing that we can really do for you at this point, so you can go home. And I was like, okay, but because it was explained to me that my heart enzymes were high. So I was like, okay, but like my heart enzymes are still really high. Like, why are they high? And she was like, well, it just happens. And I was like, huh? I was like, what just happened? She was like, you know, if you smoke, if you're a frequent smoker or a drinker, or if you drink a lot of caffeine. And I'm like, okay, I don't do any of that. Like, I have not drank caffeine in like a month and a half. I don't smoke. I'll smoke like maybe once a month. I drink maybe like once every couple of months. Like, I eat healthy. I drink water. That's it. I'm not an unhealthy person. And I was like, okay, but I don't do any of those things. And she was like, you know, it just happens. Like, it just happens. And I was like, she was like, you know, and she was like trying to like, she didn't have an answer for me. She didn't have any answer to explain anything to me. So she was like, well, since everything was perfect, like, you can just go now. And then she just leaves. She just walks out. And then I was like, okay. And at this point, my parents have already left me there. So, I was like extremely frustrated and sad. And I wanted to go home. So I was like, whatever, like, get me out of this jail cell. Like, I felt like I was in jail. So the nurse guy comes and like unhooks me, takes my IV out, and is like, here's your paperwork. And then doesn't walk me out, doesn't tell me where to go. I awkwardly like put my jacket and everything back on, and I just like open up the little curtain and I like look down the hallway to see like where I'm supposed to be going, and like all of the doctors and nurses are just like watching me walk away. And it was so uncomfortable. I did cry. I cried like really hard when I got in the car. I was like just so uncomfortable. and sad and frustrated because I still don't really have any answers. But listen, that's not even the end of it. So the D-dimer test is apparently not a heart enzyme test, and I learned this because I sent a complaint to the management of the hospital because I was like, this is not okay. And the reason I sent a complaint too was not just because of my experience, but because later in that morning, I got home at like 7 in the morning, I think. Hadn't slept for 24 hours, like I was exhausted. And I went to go look at all of my test results, and I'm actually gonna pull them up right now because I want to read what it says. It says on my CT scan, let me see if I can find it. And it annoys me too that my CT scan results are like, thyroid looks remarkable. Esophagus looks unremarkable. Everything looks perfect. Everything looks amazing. And I'm like, why do I feel this way if everything looks perfect? Like, it's so frustrating because I know that something is wrong with me. I can feel it in my body that something is not normal. And I don't have any answers for why. Because all of these tests are coming back normal. But then, okay, I can't find which one. They did so many tests. Okay, it says that my parabronchial wall is thickening, which means I could have bronchitis. Okay, the CT results say that I'm forming bronchitis. Alright? Now listen, I get bronchitis all the time. I've gotten it like my entire life. That's like the one sickness that I ever got when I was growing up. So yeah, usually when you get bronchitis, you get some steroids and you get some antibiotics, and it's usually out of your system within a couple of days. But because they didn't give me any medications or anything, I woke up the next morning with, guess what? Fucking bronchitis. So for the past 4 or 5 days now, I've had bronchitis. And when I called the hospital to ask them if they could give me medications for it, they said that I just have to treat bronchitis at home myself with just, like Dayquil or like pain medications and like cough medicine. And it'll be out of my system. That's what they told me. So they didn't call me in any steroids, they didn't call in any antibiotics, which I've had bronchitis my whole life and they've always gotten me medications. And I said that to them and they were like, well, you didn't come in with bronchitis or bronchitis symptoms, so we're not going to prescribe that to you. So yeah, the reason I sent in the complaint was because I was misdiagnosed, and some of my other blood tests were really high too, like my obviously my D-dimer test was way too high, which I already showed you guys. And honestly, I need to like look it up again. A D-dimer test is a blood test that checks for blood clotting problems. It measures the amount of D-dimer a protein in your body makes to break down blood clots. A positive means the D-dimer level in your body is higher than normal, and it suggests that you have a blood clot or blood clotting problems. So I don't have a blood clot, but like, if it's high, then I could, right? Like, I don't know. Because like, if all the tests came back normal for blood clots, then why is it high? And that's what I tried to ask her, and then she was just like, it happens. And I'm like, okay, so cool. But it's frustrating too, because the original doctor was like, okay, you could have this, this, and this, but we're gonna do these tests. But before he could go over it with me, his shift was over, and then I got stuck with his PA that didn't know what she was doing. So that is what is frustrating, because he was nice, and I felt like he was like actually explaining things to me and like wanting to get help. But I sent in a complaint, and I also left a really negative review on Google, as one does. And yesterday I got a call from the customer care Sorry guys, I can't breathe. I got a call from the customer care team, and she was like, you know, can you explain to me what happened? She was like, you know, I read your review and I got your email asking for a phone call, and I want to like discuss with you like what's going on. Like, she was like, I want to give you an apology for like how you were treated. That's not right. Like, that's not what we want to represent, blah, 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 you know, just textbook what she's supposed to say for her, as her job. And, she was like, you know, I can't talk to you about, like, your medical test because I'm not a doctor, but I will have one of the doctors or PAs call you after I'm done, and they will go over your test results again with you. And I was like, okay, great. Like, I already knew what was going to happen. That the PA or the doctor was going to call me and be like, this is what the tests say and everything is normal and you're being dramatic, because, and that's exactly what happened. But, you know, I told her everything that happened that I just told you guys. I told her about like how unprofessional all of the nurses were, making fun of people, and she apologized. She was very nice. But she apologized, and she was like, okay, within like the next 30 minutes, you're gonna get a call from one of the doctors. And I was like, okay, cool. He calls me. He immediately kind of sounds like irritated that he has to call me. But also, I can't tell if that's just how he talks. Like, he kind of had a very nonchalant tone, and I don't know if that's just like him as a person. I don't know. But he was like, you know, first of all, I want to send like my deepest apologies for how unprofessional the staff was. Like, that shouldn't have happened, blah, blah, blah. Like, he was nice about that. And then he was like, what questions do you have about your test results that are confusing you? And as soon as he said that, I was like, okay, I already know how this is gonna go. So, you know, I was told my heart enzymes are high, but I was sent home. And he was like, well, actually, a D-dimer test is not a test to check for your heart enzymes. I have a gnat! He was like, your heart enzymes actually looked okay, and that test came back normal. A D-dimer test was elevated, and that checks for blood clots. So that is why we did the CT scan and the x-rays and ultrasounds and everything to check for blood clots, because the D-dimer test basically is telling us that, like, you have the possibility of a blood clot somewhere. So I was like, okay, so that was explained to me wrong, because I wouldn't have just randomly started saying heart enzymes unless it was said to me, right? So I was like, okay, well, that was just explained to me wrong then, because I was told my heart enzymes were high. So that's why I was confused. And he was like, yeah, basically, since you don't have blood clots, like, it's fine. And I just kept asking him, like, okay, but why is the D-dimer test so high? Like, is it high all the time? Is this preventable? Do I still have a blood clot somewhere that wasn't checked? Because they didn't ultrasound my arms or anything. They didn't ultrasound my neck. They didn't ultrasound my head. Like, you can't do that. But I was like, I could have a blood clot in other parts of my body, right? So they just checked my legs. And I know you can get blood clots like in other places too, and they didn't check for that. So I'm like, obviously my D-dimer test was high for some reason, right? And like I'm still having heart pain. Like it's fine right now. It comes and goes, but sometimes it's like a very dull ache that I just feel in the middle of my chest. And also like my heart rate will spike up a lot. And if I'm like sitting, my heart rate will be like 70 or 80, and then as soon as I just like stand up, it'll go to like 120, which is like not normal for it to spike up just from like standing up. And that's why I get so dizzy. And like some days I'll be fine. Like some days I'll feel okay, and then other days I'll be like super, super dizzy and I'll feel like crap, and then some days I'm like, I could run a marathon, you know? And that's what's frustrating, is because like I know something is wrong with my body, but sometimes I'm fine. So I still don't know why my D-dimer test is high. And when you go to your primary, see if they could get an ultrasound on your heart in your neck to see if they can still be okay. Yeah, I'm gonna ask, because I was told follow up with your primary care doctor within like a day or two, but I could not get an appointment with any primary care doctor in my insurance until next week. So that's what's happening. So there's that. That's like the bad experience that I had at the hospital. So mentally, that was exhausting. Physically, that was exhausting. And I still have no answers, really, other than like, yep, your D-dimer test was high. You could possibly have issues with blood clots in the future, but we don't have any answers for you, and now give us $2,000. Which obviously I didn't have. So I'm gonna have like a $2,000 bill added on to my existing medical debt that I already have because of last year. Oh, thank you, Vanessa.
Early Vanessa just subscribed.
So, spent $2,000 to just be told, hey, you're normal. Which, like, what's fucking new at this point? But what I thought was funny is, why does this feel so much bigger than my other granny squares? Okay, it's not. I don't know why it felt bigger. What's funny is, yesterday I went to my hand doctor, which I've had that appointment for like 4 months now or something. Like I've had that appointment scheduled for a long time. And, I got all the lab work done. So my hand doctor was like, yay, like we don't have to get any lab work done for your surgery. Like we can just, she was like, obviously not yay about the hospital, but she was like, oh, it says right here in your hospital notes you have bronchitis. And I'm like, oh, well, I also forgot to tell you guys what the guy said about my bronchitis, right? Because I asked him, I was like, oh, my CT scan, says that like my bronchial wall, I don't even know if that's the word, is thickening and that I could have bronchitis. And he was like, oh, well, just because it says you could have bronchitis doesn't mean you actually have it. And I'm like, okay, but I do have it. He was like kind of gaslighting me a little bit. I don't know. He was like, just because the CT scan test says that you have it doesn't necessarily mean that's what you have, because you didn't come in with the symptoms of bronchitis. And the radiologist or whatever, the person that gives the test results for the CT scans, doesn't really know anything about you. So they just basically said that like you could possibly get bronchitis, but not saying that you had it. And I'm like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? And I obviously have it. I know what it feels like to have bronchitis. I've been coughing up blood. I've had nasal discharge. Like, I'm sick, obviously. And if they would have just at least treated me for bronchitis, I would have been at least somewhat happy, right? Because then I wouldn't have been sick for the past 5 days. To find my needle. I don't know. But yeah, the guy basically on the phone just told me like, hey stupid, you don't know how to read these test results, and you were wrong. And then he apologized for how the nurses were acting, and he said like they should not be acting that way. And I literally said to him, I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to be a bitch, like I'm really not, but, and I don't care if they're cussing, I really don't, but like if you're gonna talk shit about patients, whisper, okay? Whisper. And that's what I said to him. I'm like, if you're gonna talk shit, you need to whisper. And he was like, they shouldn't even be talking bad about patients, like that should not be happening, I'm so sorry. And I was like, okay, thanks for calling, and then that was that. I'm still not happy with the situation. I do feel like they misdiagnosed me or didn't even really diagnose me at all or even care. But I'm hoping my primary care doctor experience is going to be better. Next week, it is a new primary care doctor that I have never seen before. She has really good reviews online. She has been a doctor for a very long time. I chose a woman because I don't want a man. And I chose her because she has the best reviews about being caring and not pushing like religious beliefs onto people. Because when you live in the South, a lot of doctors will push their religious beliefs onto you when it comes into like the medical field, and I don't think that's right at all. So I'm hoping that she listens, and I hope that she helps. You know, I'm going to explain to her all the issues that I'm having, and I'm hoping that she will order some type of test, or she will do something to help me. Because, you know, your girl's not feeling great, and I go back to work tomorrow, and I'm honestly kind of concerned about it. Because still pretty lightheaded. I did go to the museum on Sunday and I felt okay. I had to sit down a couple of times just because I was feeling like really dizzy. So I should be okay at work. I don't know, at work I always feel sick there. And I don't know if it's because of all of like the book dust and stuff, but yeah. I hope I get some answers from my primary care doctor. But also, last thing, hand surgery. So I went to my hand doctor yesterday, and I am indeed having a third surgery on my hand, which I already knew. But this appointment was basically to discuss like what the surgery is going to be, because I've been seeing the doctor's PA the past 2 times and not the actual doctor. And the doctor's obviously the one that does the surgery, so I needed to see her. And you know, I explained to her like my frustrations and my issues. And she was like, okay, this is what I think we should do. She was like, with a lot of people who use their hands a lot. Sorry, let me blow my nose again. Ugh. My old primary care doctor was a man, and he was great, but I knew him because my mom worked for him. I would just prefer to choose a woman, personally. I feel more comfortable with women. But, oh, thank you. My boyfriend got me these flowers for Valentine's Day. They're very pretty. So I'm having hand surgery on March 11th, which is like literally in 3 weeks. Yeah, like 3 weeks. And what is gonna happen, I'm about to talk about something that might gross some of you guys out, but she is going to be putting a screw in my middle finger, okay? And that screw is going to attach these two bones, it's going to fuse these two top bones together in my finger to straighten it. And my finger is basically going to be permanently straight. So my option was have a permanently curved finger or have a permanently straight finger. That were my only two options because this joint is not going to move ever again. So I chose to have it permanently straight because having it permanently curved is annoying. It also just looks really ugly, and I know you guys probably like could care less about the way that my finger looks, but I just don't feel nice with it like that. Like, I don't have any feeling in this finger, and it looks a little weird, but at least it's straight, right? And I'd rather have a straight finger too, because it'll just be easier for me to do things. And she did say that, like, she normally does this surgery on people that use their hands a lot. So, like, hairstylist, she said, because I am, like, a full-time crocheter and I do crafts a lot, that she would probably recommend for me to do it. She's also going to be taking out a lot of the scar tissue, and she's also going to be trying to connect some more nerves together to try to give myself some more feeling in the left side of my finger, because I still don't have any feeling on this side of my finger, but I do on this side. So she was like, I can try to connect some more nerves together on this side so I can have feeling in my entire finger, because I'm not going to have feeling in my ring finger for probably years or ever again, just depending on if the nerves decide to regrow. So yeah, she said that this surgery is going to be extremely painful for the first week, which I'm not looking forward to. She said it's probably one of the more painful feelings because I'm going to be able to feel the screw pushing up against my nail bed, which actually makes me want to fucking vomit thinking about. I'm not even gonna lie, because like, if she's saying that that's gonna be the worst pain that I have felt when I have felt the pain of the first 2 surgeries, but it needs to be done. I'm trying to think of like myself now and in my future self, and getting it done now will be better for me in the future, so that's why I'm going ahead and doing it. And she was like, you know, I'm so sorry that, like, you know, we're almost a year out from your injury and we're still dealing with this. Like, normally this is not the case, but unfortunately, it's a surgery. I'm going to be asleep for it. It's not, I'm not going to be awake. She's going to be breaking my bones and stuff. I will not be awake for that. Because the surgery, the scheduler lady said the surgery will probably take like 2 or 3 hours. And she said that this should be my last surgery unless it gets infected, which she said that is very rare, but I have the worst luck ever. So she was like, you know, the pain of the first week is going to be unbearable, but in the long run, it's going to be the best decision for you, and you're going to be happy with it. And that's what she said. Like, everyone that she has done it to says that it sucks for the first week, but after that, like, they're so grateful that they did it. So I just gotta get through it. No, God, no. No, this is like full-blown surgery. Because she's like connecting nerves and stuff. This is way too invasive for me to just be like frozen. No. I want to be knocked out for that. I do not want to see that. So I'm permanently going to have a screw in my finger, which I think is kind of metal and kind of cool. And I am very nervous. But also, she checked my labs and she was like, okay, everything's normal, like we can go ahead and do the surgery. She was like, your thyroid's not like too high where I'm like concerned about putting you down for surgery. But you know, let us know what the primary care doctor says next week, just in case, before we do your surgery. So I'm on the surgery schedule, but things could change depending on like what test results come back as and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a lot. I literally really just trauma dumped for an hour and a half on you guys, letting you know what's happened in the past 2 weeks, but that is what has been happening in the past 2 weeks. And today is the first day that I have woken up where my nose isn't like completely stuffed. Like, it's more stuffy right now because I'm talking so much. But I actually woke up this morning and I could breathe and I didn't have like snot and like crusties all over my nose. And rapper A$AP Rocky found not guilty of assault after he was accused of shooting at former friend at LA Street. Okay, why did I get news for that? I don't know what you want from me. I don't know what this dog wants from me. I don't want... No. No, no, no. Nope. Nope. Goodbye. Go lay down. So I think tomorrow, hopefully, I'll feel better. I did dye my hair today. I did bleach it, and then it just didn't come out light enough. And, well, I did a bleach bath, but my hair is like really dry, so I can't bleach it again. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna put like a light purple on it. And like I said, it looks darker on camera. It's pretty light. Like after a few washes, it's gonna be a really nice light purple color, but I'll bleach it again in like a month or two and try to get to platinum, but it's gonna be a process. And yeah, I'm going back to work tomorrow. Also, my friend / coworker also has bronchitis. And like my other 2 coworkers were out sick like in the past month with a sickness like bronchitis. So obviously I have fucking bronchitis. Yeah, my coworker has been out too because she went to the doctor this morning or yesterday and they were like, yeah, you have bronchitis. And she texted me and she was like, girl, our planets are aligned. Like, we have bronchitis together. And I was like, oh my god, I kind of love that for us. Like, but yeah. Hopefully I feel okay enough to go back tomorrow, but I am a bit worried. Mainly just about driving. Because sometimes I have to pull over because I get so dizzy from like just the constant movement. And also I have a Jeep Wrangler, which is like, like it, every little bump in the road, the car's like, you know, so it doesn't feel great. Oh my gosh. 4 tendon surgeries is rough. I'm so sorry. Luckily, she didn't say that I'll have to go through another tendon repair. She did say that I need to go to physical therapy again a week after surgery. So my physical therapist can make me a cast for just my finger. This one's not getting surgery, just my middle finger. So she said that she has like no hope for my ring finger, which is crazy to say. But she was like, we've done all we can we've done all we can do with her. Like we can't do any more surgeries on your ring finger. Like, she's just at the point where we're done with her. And I'm like, okay. Okay. So my ring finger, she's safe. Yeah, I'm like permanently flicking people off, but only this one is getting surgery. So I have to go to physical therapy and get a cast for my finger. And then he's basically just going to be doing physical therapy on this joint right here, just making sure that this joint doesn't start curving in. Because the reason why this finger started curving in general was because the broken bone did not get fixed with the first surgery. Maybe. And, it made it where this one did not go into physical therapy quick enough because of this finger. So that's why this happened. So I'm gonna go to physical therapy, but I don't have to go through tendon repair again. Thank God. Okay? Thank God. So I don't have to go to physical therapy for too long. She said that I could just go for like a couple of months, like a month or two. Whereas before I was in physical therapy for like 8 months or something before I was able to do this. So, I mean, I'm fine, right? Like, I don't need this surgery, but for long term, I'm gonna do it. So, yeah. Very long-winded. And there's some days where I feel great, and then there's some days where I'm just not so great, which is frustrating. So, at least I'm not pregnant. When they were like not doing the pregnancy test on me, I started panicking a little bit because I'm like, oh my God, am I pregnant? Like, why are they treating me like I'm, because they were like, the nurse guy that didn't know what he was doing, he kept saying like, well, we need to do a pregnancy test on you, but he kept saying it like I was pregnant. He was like, we need to check you. And I had already been checked, I thought. And I had been checked at urgent care too. But for some reason, he kept saying it. So I kept being like, am I pregnant? Like, am I having these issues because I'm pregnant? And I started like panicking, even though I knew I wasn't pregnant. But my brain was like, am I pregnant right now? Like, I started panicking. I was like, there's no way that I could be pregnant. I'll Google it. Carotid? He was very unprofessional. I don't know. Like I said, he was my age, so he had like the vibes of like my generation, you know? And that didn't bother me necessarily, but just the fact that he was stupid is what annoyed me. Would you be able to feel a blood vessel on either side of your neck? Because they did feel my neck and they felt my thyroid, but I know I always have pregnancy anxiety, even though like your girl's on birth control and she's safe, okay? Like my biggest fear, and I'm saying this out loud, my biggest fear is being pregnant. I will myself if I'm pregnant. Like I do not ever want to be pregnant, okay? So your girl makes sure that it's not gonna happen. So, but I always have anxiety about it. Like if my period's a little weird, or if I have like 2 periods, or I don't have a period at all, even though I'm on birth control, I'll just like panic and I'm fine. Like, I don't know. He was just weird about it. I was like, oh my God, am I pregnant? The carotid, is it carotid? Carotid arteries? Are 2 blood vessels located on either side of the neck. They carry oxygenated blood from the heart to the brain and head. Oh, carotid artery disease, a condition where plaque builds up in the carotid arteries, narrowing them and reducing blood flow to the brain, and that can lead to a stroke. Okay. Okay, cool. Symptoms of carotid artery disease. Stroke-like symptoms such as weakness, numbness, or paralysis on one side of the body. Okay, I don't have paralysis, so that's a good thing. Temporary stroke symptoms that last for a few minutes, blurred vision, and difficulty speaking. I don't think I really have anything too... not as serious as that. Like, I had blurred vision, but I didn't have difficulty speaking or stroke symptoms. Oh, well. Symptoms of clogged carotid arteries are sudden vision changes, sudden weakness, sudden headaches, severe headaches, which I always get, sudden dizziness, speech difficulties, confusion, which I have been having a lot of confusion, and fatigue, which I've been having. I mean, I'll definitely ask. I'm definitely gonna mention POTS to my primary care doctor, just because so many people have been like, I had the same issues as you and I got diagnosed with POTS. Carotid arteries. Damn, I was really saying that wrong. Carotid. I know, I'll be like on my period and still panicking that I could possibly be pregnant. Like, the pregnancy scare is real. Okay, I need to make one more granny square. I only made one granny square. I know, that's why it's so frustrating too. Also, I don't know if I told you guys this too, but ever since my hand surgery, I've had like little pieces of metal that still come out of my fingers. I know that's so crazy to say. And I'll just like cut it or like pull it out of my finger. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this right here. No, you can't see. There's like a little hole. See that little hole? That is like a piece of metal or something that is just trying to eject itself out of my fingers, and this has been happening since last year. It's kind of fun. I don't know if it's metal. It looks like metal when I pull it out, but it's like kind of stringy, so I don't know if it's from the surgery or if it's from the injury. Because this finger didn't have any surgery on it. It just had stitches. I don't know. It's weird. But like that finger is like super sensitive sometimes. It's like really little, like you wouldn't even know what it really was unless you put like a little flashlight on it. Dobby is crying because I'm not paying attention to her. I don't know, the stuff that comes out kind of looks like you know the bristles on like the brushes that you use to clean like an outdoor oven? Like, you know that like metal look of them? That's what it kind of looks like when I pull it out. And it's always just like little pieces. So I feel like it's like some type of like weird metal cloth or something that was just kind of like stitched into my hand during like the hospital or something. and it's like ejecting itself out of my hand. No, I haven't told her because it's not really like, it's like little. Like I literally just like pulled it out. But it keeps coming out of like the same spot. Maybe I should mention, I don't know. Like I don't know if it's metal, it just looks like metal. But it's like kind of stringy. It's very odd. I have a really high pain tolerance, I really do. It's gotten worse as I've gotten older. Like when I was getting my Nana tattoo a couple months ago, like it was kind of hurting a little bit, and I was like, I don't remember tattoos hurting that bad. Like obviously I have sat through like a whole sleeve not complaining or hurting at all, and I was fine. But then like during this one I was like very uncomfortable while I was sitting there, and it was actually like low-key kind of hurting, and I was like, is my pain tolerance getting worse as I've gotten older? But I don't know, like my hand injury was like painful. But I don't even know how to explain the feeling of like your fingers being sawed off. Almost. They weren't completely sawed off, but it wasn't how you would expect it to feel. I don't know, like that's how I felt too when I broke my foot. Like I expected it to feel worse. It hurt, of course, but I never had broken a bone before, so I just expected it to be like more painful than it was. Like I don't know, but it was still painful, but it wasn't as like bad. Like when I broke my foot, I fell and I was like, ow, like that hurt. That's what I said. Like as soon as I landed on the ground, because I fell down the stairs, if you guys didn't know, that's how I broke my foot. And I got, I landed on the bottom stair and I just went, ow. And then like I tried to stand up and I just fell right back down because, my foot was broken. And it hurt. But it wasn't like, I don't know. Like it wasn't that bad. Like it hurt. I don't know. It was just like it felt like a really, really intense bruise or something. Oh, it could be the suture. I don't know. I just like pulling it out. Oh yeah, I do have pictures. I actually don't even know if I still have it because it was my iPhone. I have a picture of the ring footage of me sawing my hand off. I actually haven't watched it. Stop! Go lay down. She's whining because I'm not laying with her. Like, she's fine. I have the ring footage of me, sawing my fingers in half because my dad needed it for insurance because you get like more discounts if it was like an accident, and obviously it was an accident. So, my dad saved the video footage to send to insurance. To be like, hey, this was an accident. No, I am not pulling it out. I am not. Oh, sorry. Are you talking about the metal or the the video? I will not watch the video of me sawing my fingers in half because, not being dramatic, but I do have PTSD from it. And if I think about it too much, I do start to panic a little bit. Because, it was scary. And the sound of hedge clippers make me panic, so I will never watch that video. Maybe like 50 years from now I'll watch the video, but it's still too soon. But yeah. I still, that's crazy too, because, you know, I forget things very easily, but I still vividly remember the pain of it. Vividly remember exactly what it felt like. If I like sit here, I can just like, you know, when you think about like a smell or think about an event or a feeling or something and you can kind of feel it, or like, you know, when you're dreaming and you can like feel it in your sleep, like what's happening in your dream, like I can feel it. And then my fingers start to like ache if I think about it too much, but I don't even know how to explain what it felt like. It was just like very intense burning. It didn't feel like a punch. It didn't feel like a bruise. Like when I broke my foot, that felt like a bruise feeling. When this just felt like it was just burning. Intense burning. That's what I felt. That's all I felt. And that's literally all I felt. It was just like, I don't know if you've ever gotten like a paper cut, or you've ever like cut yourself a little bit, and or like you've gotten a cat scratch and you get like that weird burning sensation. That is how it felt, but like very intensely. Like it felt like my hand was on fire. But I was also like, my body was obviously running on adrenaline too, so I didn't really feel the full pain of it until I got to the hospital later. And when they were like stitching me up and stuff, they like numbed the whole area and stuff, so I didn't feel them like stitching me up. But the feeling, I don't really know how to explain it other than just like very intense burning. Like it felt like I put my hand in a fire. I don't know, it's very weird. But like I was even though I say that, I expected worse. Like obviously it would have been so much worse if my finger actually like completely came off. It was just hanging on. My finger was hanging on. But at the time, I didn't even want to like look down, because I thought that my first thought was I lost my finger, because that's what I thought happened, because it happened so quickly and there was so much blood. So much blood. I can't even imagine hurting yourself anywhere else, because there was so much blood just from my little fingers. And I just remember like seeing all the blood, and then I remember saying like, oh shit. And then my mom looked over and there was just like blood pouring from my hands, but I didn't look at my fingers because I was like, I'm not gonna look at them. And I didn't know if they were on still, and I didn't look at the ground. And my mom immediately like grabbed a bunch of towels and like wrapped the towels around my hand to try to help with like the bleeding, because I was bleeding so much. Yes, I'm just talking about the hand injury. Just reliving last year. Just like my mom held, and my mom, like, I don't know if she thought I was being dramatic or something, because I was like, call 911, call 911. I was like, I knew at that point 911 needed to be called. Like, the feeling, it was like my finger, like I literally kept saying to my mom, like, I don't know if my finger is still there. Like, I think I cut off my finger. Like, I just kept saying, I think I cut off my finger. I don't think my finger's there anymore. And she was like, relax. Like, I don't see your finger on the floor. Just sit down, lay down. And I was like, call 911. I just kept saying, and she was like, do you think we need to call them? And I was like, call 911. I was literally like, you need to call them right now. Like, I was getting so frustrated because, she wouldn't go get my damn phone and call the police. And they came very quickly though. Or called the firefighters or whatever. And it was just 2 dudes that came. Some busty firemen. Some caked up firemen. Some big guys. And I wasn't even really dizzy or anything. I got dizzy afterwards, but my adrenaline was pumping so much that like I didn't even... Right? Like, what do you mean should I call 911? Like, do you see the blood everywhere? It was crazy. But she could have been panicking a little bit too, because I was like screaming. That's another reason why I don't want to like watch the video, because I was literally screaming. Not like a blood curdling, but like a call 911. You know, just my finger, you know. And yeah, they came in like 5 minutes. Dobby, we don't need all of that. She's over there going, like she's literally being so dramatic. Go. No. No. Now they're just gonna now they're just gonna stare at me. I know y'all can't hear her, but I can. And it's overstimulating. What? What? No. Oh my god. They're all coming. Oh my god, now Claudine's hitting me on this side. What do you want? They already had their dinner. They're not getting anything. I can give them a piece of bacon. They've unionized. I can give them a piece of bacon to get off my tail, perhaps. Where's my bacon? Sit. 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 Yeah, maybe she's a little confused. Yeah, Dobby has never been the best at learning tricks. Mochi was great at it. Dobby, on the other hand, she tries her best. Internal stitches. I think they did dissolve, so that could be the case. But anyway, yeah, the firefighters came like very quickly. And the first thing I said, I was like, are my fingers still there? Because I was like, I don't think my finger is like there, because that's how like much it was burning. And I didn't get lightheaded until he like took the towel off of my hand, and then the air hit the flesh, and that's when I got lightheaded, because it burned. The worst feeling, the most pain I've ever felt in my life. And you know, she's just staring at me again, so that didn't really do much. I don't know if she needs to go like outside or something. Maybe she does. Okay, I'm gonna take her outside. Alright, Mochi, watch the fort. All of the dogs in the neighborhood were barking. So she had to join in, of course. Yeah, my hair's purple. It's hard to tell on camera because it's not actually showing the real color, like literally at all. You can see it on my Instagram story, kind of. Yeah, I don't know what all of the dogs outside are barking at. But it was kind of spooky because it's like literally pitch black out there. And it's just the woods, so that's why I carried her outside. I always carry my dogs outside at night. Because you never know when the prehistoric birds or the dogs are going to come attacking me, so. My dad lost the top knuckle up from all of his fingers on his right hand from a snowblower incident. Oh my god, that sounds terrible. But yeah, I didn't get lightheaded until he took like the towel off. And then I like calmed down a little when he was like, okay, your fingers are there, but you definitely need stitches. Like, you need to go to the hospital. And he was like, do you want us to take you to the hospital in the ambulance, or do you want to drive there? And I was still lightheaded at that point, and he was like, if you're lightheaded, you probably need to go in the ambulance. And I literally looked at him and I was like, I am not paying for an ambulance. So he made like a makeshift paramedic wrap for me to stop the bleeding. And honestly, it was continuously bleeding all day, but stop it enough. And then my mom took me to the same hospital that I went to last week. That experience was much better than the experience I had last week, but and then I sat in the emergency room for 5 or 6 hours before I was even seen. So yeah, I was there for 8 hours when I got my hand. When I hurt my hand. Yeah, because I had good insurance at the time. And it's $700 with good insurance to take the ambulance. So I was like, no. Yeah, they basically just checked my little bandage to see if I was like bleeding out. And they were like, well, you're not bleeding out, so you're just gonna have to wait behind everybody else. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was literally there for like 5 or 6 hours before they took me back for an x-ray. I think it was an x-ray of my hand because, you know, they needed to see if it was broken. And then after they did the x-ray, I wasn't taken back into a room till like 7 or 8 hours, I think. And then they actually took me to the children's hospital section, even though I wasn't a kid. I was like, how old was I last year? I was 25. I was 25. And honestly, it was kind of fun. because I got like cartoons and little animals were painted on the walls. But yeah, they like were so full that they didn't have like any rooms on the adult side, so they took me to the kids section and they stitched me up. Well, they cleaned it like a lot. They used like iodine or something, like this orange stuff, this big tub of orange stuff, like tub, and they put my hand in it and just like just a whole tub of it. And they also numbed it too. I don't remember if the numbing was before or after the iodine. I think it was iodine. Some very intense cleaner. I don't know. But I remember the feeling of the numbing needles going into the injury. I lied. That was probably the worst pain. And then once everything was numbed up, your girl was good, okay? I could look at it as soon as like I couldn't feel the pain, I could look at it fine. Blood does not make me woozy or anything like that. So once I couldn't feel what they were doing, I was watching the whole time. And I could take pictures and I could look at it and not get like nauseous and stuff because I couldn't feel it. And I really wish I could show you guys the pictures of my hand, but I would get demonetized on YouTube. At the time I posted them on Twitter, but I don't have Twitter anymore. But just know, they looked gross, okay? And once they were stitched up, I looked like Frankenstein too. It's actually kind of crazy how bad they looked and how good they look now. Like, science is crazy. Yeah, I don't know what it's called. It was like a big jug of just this like orange cleaner. And they just put my hand in a big bowl and they just and just like cleaned out all of the betadine, maybe. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yep. It was surgical scrub. Surgical solution. Yep, that's what it was. Iodine, betadine, kind of sounds the same. But it was like a jug. And just, they were just like squeezing it on there and just like flushing out all of the wounds, is what I was assuming they were doing. And then they brought in a bunch of students who were literally my age, and they didn't ask consent to have them in there, and they were annoying, okay? And they were giving like, you know, the stereotype that like nurses are like mean girls in high school. They were like them. And they were definitely giving like sorority vibes, which is fine. But y'all know what I mean. Like, they were definitely like Republicans, you know? Just like, y'all know, okay? And I'm a girl's girl, but they were annoying. And like one of the girls was like, oh, well, it doesn't look that bad. And I was like, okay, girl, you try having your fingers sawed in half, and then let me tell you that it's not that bad. Yeah, they were 3 of them. We were in a little room. Hi, Dee Dee. Hi. We were in a little room. My parents, 2 of the 2 people were stitching my hand up. One was training, and one was like the head guy. He wasn't a doctor, but he was like the head of something, okay? And then they brought in 3 students. So I was in the bed, surrounded by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 people. Surrounded by 7 people, bleeding, in pain, uncomfortable. And then they were like, well, we need to give you a tetanus shot, and we need to give you like another shot in your ass. Like, I got like 2 shots in my ass that day too, which were so painful. They were like, all right, give me your left butt cheek. all right, give me your right butt cheek. And like, I couldn't sit down because it hurt so bad. So they like were injecting my ass. And then I was like, oh God, that day was terrible. And yeah, they were just like, they were giving way too many, their commentary was like, not needed. Okay, you can be a student and you can sit there and learn and ask questions and not give me commentary on like what I look like or that my injury is not that bad, because like it felt bad. I don't need to do anything. I will do what I want because it is my channel. I had to get steroids in my butt. Yeah, literally, I don't know if that's what I got. I don't think that's what I got, but I definitely got a tetanus shot. For obvious reasons. And oh my God, it hurts so bad. Because like, obviously they do it in your butt because it's so fat, you know? But it hurt. But yeah, I gotta go pick up my medications for my next surgery. I guess I'll go get it tomorrow after work. See what she prescribed. She gave me like a bottle of cleaner. Thank you. That is a better way to say it. I don't like when people are like, you need to do this. And I'm like, okay. I don't watch Love is Blind. That is actually one of the reality shows that make me cringe too hard where I can't enjoy it. Oh yeah, that is very traumatizing. Okay, now this guy. Now this guy needs to go outside. You can wait a minute. Celecoxib. Why do they make medications sound this way? Take 2 capsules by mouth the night before surgery, then take 1 capsule by mouth the morning after surgery. Celecoxib. And then gabapentin, which I already have a fuck ton of gabapentin, so I don't really need any more, but... Alright, let me take this guy outside. I think it's so funny when like one dog starts howling, they all start howling outside. Like it really is like wolves. Hi, Des. I can't do Love is Blind. I have tried so many times, and every single time I start, I'm like, I literally can't do this. I think I watched the first season. Is that the one that had like the interracial couple? Sorry, that's the only way I know how to explain them because I don't remember their names. It's like Cameron or something. I don't even know if they're still together, but I think I watched the first season. Ugh. So yeah, anyway, I've been to the doctor a lot. the past couple of weeks. And I have another one next week, and then I have another one a week after that, which is the cardiologist, and then I have my surgery. So for the next 3 weeks, I will be at the doctor's too. My favorite thing to crochet, probably dolls. Mochi! He's down the hallway doing some fuck shit. What are you doing? I know you're doing bad boy things. I know you are. I'm streaming kind of late today because obviously I slept in. And then since I've been sick, I haven't been able to deep clean the pet room. Like, I've been doing spot cleans here and there, but I was like too dizzy to really like dump litter boxes and stuff like that. So I did that today. So I finished that around like 3. So after I did that, then I started dyeing my hair and stuff. So I'm live streaming a bit late today because I had things to do. I actually wasn't going to live stream at all, but then I was like, you know what? I need to talk about what happened to me this past week because I don't know. I ranted about it to my friend today on the phone. Because like she, you know, has been dealing with like crappy hospitals and doctors too. She's been dealing with like really crappy like work comp stuff because she got injured at work. And work comp doctors are terrible. So she gets my pain, you know? Yeah, the Love is Blind is like the one show where I'm like, no, I can't do it. I do have to say, my favorite thing to do now is wake up on a Friday morning. Because I wake up Friday morning, I have a new episode of Southern Charm, I have a new episode of Southern Hospitality, and I have a new episode of The Traders, the US Traders. If I recommend, I think I enjoy Traders so much though because I know all of the characters, right? Like I watch so much reality TV that I know a majority of the players in Traders. So like all of the housewives and just the Bravo sphere. I don't know many of the Big Brother characters just because I've only watched a couple seasons of Big Brother. I would like to watch more. I also don't watch Survivor. So those are the two that I like don't really keep up with just because I don't watch those. I also realized I have not eaten dinner yet. Because I just now kind of got hungry and I'm like, wait, why am I hungry? And now I've just realized that I didn't eat dinner. I don't have like any food here. I need to go grocery shopping, but I get paid tomorrow. So, might have to eat like cereal or something. I can't really taste anything that I eat anyway, so what's the point? I'm trying to weave in my ends right now. Okay, I finished all my granny squares. So now I need to make 5 strawberries. 6 strawberries. Because I have to do one for the pouch too. And then I will have basically the base of the 2 purses done. And I did all those granny squares in literally like a day. So I will be able to finish all of the strawberry purse orders probably within like the end of next week. So if you guys ordered a strawberry bag, you should be getting it like beginning of March, unless something comes up. gonna take the longest for me to just do all the fabric on the inside and stuff, so. I was just gonna do them all at the same time. I was gonna ship everything at the same time because I want to take a video of me like holding all of the strawberry bags, and also I want to take a picture of all of the bags like hanging up together just for like future product promo if I ever want to do like an in-person market or something. Just so I have pictures of me making like a bunch of products, you know? I'm so excited for my new phone to come, but I am also nervous. Has anybody like had the issue with UPS like not leaving a package because you're not home? Even if you say on the security camera like you can leave it. Has anybody experienced that before? Because that is what I'm nervous about. Because I work 10 to 3 tomorrow. So if they come after 3, which UPS normally comes super late during the day. Actually, let me just go ahead and check the shipping information because it might not even actually come tomorrow like it's saying it is. I love eating cereal for dinner. Okay, it's probably not coming tomorrow because it says UPS doesn't have possession of the package yet, and I think it's like overnighted. But if they haven't given it to UPS, it's probably going to come on Thursday, which I go in at 2 on Thursday. My boss made my shifts short this week because I feel so crappy, which is nice of her. Because, you know, I've been off work for a week, which, you know, it's not good for my paycheck, but I literally could not physically work. So, I haven't been at work since last Wednesday. But my boss, instead of having 8-hour shifts every day this week, she made it where my shifts are only like 4 or 5 hours long. Hi, Jacuzzi. The UPS people would not deliver my phone last week because I wasn't home. Did you say to them, do you have a security camera, and did you say to them you can leave it at the door, or did they refuse? Because my issue is, I work every day. So if they want somebody to be here to sign for it, it's not going to happen because I will be at work. So it's gonna have to be left somewhere, and AT&T is not giving me the option where I can go pick it up at a UPS store because there's a UPS store right beside my job. So they're not giving me the option to transfer it to a UPS site to go pick it up. And they're not giving me the option to pre-sign for it online. And AT&T basically just told me like, well, sorry, there's nothing that we can do because we require signatures for everything. So I'm like, okay, well, if you require a signature, then like, I'm just not gonna get my fucking phone. Awesome. That's what I worried about. AT&T was like, you can cancel your order and then go pick up a phone from the store. I'm like, the reason I'm getting it shipped to me is because there were none in stock in the stores. See, every single time I have a package from UPS that says it requires a signature, they never get a signature. So I'm kind of hoping I have a UPS guy that just does not care and will drop it off and not ask for a signature. I'm really hoping. Y'all manifest this for me, okay? I need one good thing, and I'm really excited for this phone, so please. Please. Okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get off live. Because I want to rest the next couple of, like, I just want to relax the next couple of hours since I do work in the morning. Yeah, like, even if they just leave a sticky note thing and I, like, sign the back, or I can, like, somehow call someone to transfer it to a store or something. Because I don't mind going and picking it up. Dude, so annoying. I'm hoping it's... Yeah, AT&T, I've never had the issue where they required signatures, but I guess maybe a lot of phones were getting stolen or something. So now they do. I'm kind of just hoping they're like, okay, yeah, thanks, and they'll just, like, scribble a signature. You think I could leave a note on my door with my signature on it and be like, for UPS, here's my signature? Like, you think they'll take that? I might just try it. Honestly, I think I'm gonna do that. I only have one entrance, and it's my front door. So, I'm just gonna... I'm not home. Well, I don't want to put I'm not home. For UPS. Here's my signature. Please leave it at my front door, or something like that. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. You know what? Thank you for giving me that idea, because I'm gonna do that. Because it doesn't hurt to try. I might get lucky and they come, like, after I get home. But I really want to film the video tomorrow. So... because I want to get a video out for you guys. They might not even ask for a signature at all, because honestly, I've never had issues, but... okay, we bought. No, literally. Okay, anyway, guys, I'm gonna get off. I might eat something. I might sleep. I might read a book. Oh, wait. I gotta talk about one thing. One thing. I finished Onyx Storm. Is anybody here reading Onyx Storm, or was reading it, or... anyone? I know this is not my reading channel, but I finished Onyx Storm today while I was cleaning. Ass. Dog shit. Dog shit. A terrible book. It was not good at all. And the entire book can be summarized in like 4 paragraphs. Awful. Awful. Hated it. And this is coming from someone who loved Fourth Wing. Iron Flame was okay. Why is it not focusing? The entire book can literally be summarized by like 4 little paragraphs being like, these big 4 things happen, and the rest of it is like just the same thing that we've been reading about in the past 2 books. We keep having the same conversations over and over again. We keep having the same, like, sparring and fights over and over again. We keep having, like, battle briefs over and over again. Oh, and the smut scenes over and over again. Like, the same thing. If I have to hear about that goddamn throne one more time, I was gonna lose my mind. Every single time that throne was brought up, I'm like, we get it. You had sex on a throne. Like, how many times do we need to talk about it? And listen, I've always, you know, Rebecca Yarros is not the best writer, and that's okay. But this one was really bad. And I'm like, you know what? In my head, Fourth Wing is just a standalone book. Fourth Wing is just a standalone book. In my eyes. And like a lot of people in the reviews were like trying to defend it, being like, this is just a filler book. Like, you guys, this is a 5-book series. Like, obviously it's going to be just like a filler. Make it a trilogy then. Why do we need a book full of filler? And it's not even good filler. And why did we have like random point of views at the end of like just random people? Of characters I don't care about. After I finished reading it, I literally like cackled because I was listening to the audiobook while I was dyeing my hair and stuff. And I literally like started cackling, and then I just like immediately opened up Goodreads and I was like, 1 star! Like, even filler anime episodes are annoying. Why do we need a filler book? Like, you're really trying to defend it, being like, this is a filler. Like, do you realize you saying this is a filler book is actually just offensive towards Rebecca's writing? Because, like, I bet Rebecca is not out here, like, working hard on this book and then hearing everybody being like, it's just a filler book. It's just a filler. These books are like 400 to 500 pages, and they don't get semi-interesting until the last 2 chapters. I should not have to read 1,500 pages before I get something interesting. In the very end of the book, I was like, okay. Like, obviously I'm not going to say what happened because, in my opinion, I don't even really think that it's, like, that big of a deal. But at the end of the book, like, I saw reviews being like, oh my god, that ending, like, literally made me speechless. I'm, like, literally, what did I just read? And I was like, okay. So, you know what? I have just come to the conclusion that Fourth Wing is a standalone in my head. I loved that book, I really did. But I'm gonna continue to read the series because I want to know what happens, of course. But if you don't want to sit through the entire 500 pages, I recommend typing into Google Onyx Storm Spark Notes. And there is a website that will give you the summarization of the entire book in 4 paragraphs. And I'm telling you guys, that is all that happens that is important. That's it. 500 pages just for that. And, like, obviously there are, like, in the Spark Notes, it'll summarize each chapter in more detail, but the entire book can be summarized in, like, 3 or 4 little paragraphs. So if you don't want to read the whole thing, just go type in Onyx Storm Spark Notes into Google, and you will get what happens in the book. And I would count that as a read. I would count that as a read. That is how irrelevant this book was to me. That I would count me reading the Spark Notes as me reading the book. Do with that as you will. Oh my god. I needed to rant about that because it was so bad. And I feel like I wasted my life reading it. But now I get to update my reading journal. Which I'm not going to do tonight because I'm too tired, but I need to update my reading journal. I also need to finish the Dark Verse series. I'm not even being dramatic. Not even being dramatic. That's how irrelevant that book is when it comes to, like, the story. And if I have to hear... Also, the dragons, like, weren't even interesting in this book. The dragons weren't even interesting. Honestly, this book, this might be controversial. This book felt like it was AI. It felt like different. It felt different. And whether it was Rebecca not writing it herself, or her using AI, or her, like, having someone help her write it to get it done faster, I don't feel like it was, like, a human. That's just a conspiracy, alright? Just a conspiracy. And listen, I'm not a writer. I'm not an author. So who am I to give critiques? But you know what? This is the review space. This is not an author space. I think that it had AI in it. Of some sort. Also, Taryn going off on random tangents over and over again about how powerful he is and stuff, and like her trying to make that like a comedic relief. There's only so many times that you can have Tarn rant about how awesome and powerful he is before the joke's not funny anymore. Okay? You can't do the same joke over and over and over again. It's not funny if you keep doing it over and over again. ACOTAR, I would say the first 3 books of ACOTAR are like pretty good, I think, and then the rest are hot garbage. The one about Nesta and Cassian, hot garbage. I wasted so much time of my life reading that book. A Court of Mist and Fury, I think, is the best one. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. I wanted to rant about that because I finished that today while I was cleaning. I had it on 3 times speed. I had the audiobook on 3 times speed to get through that shit. I would say the first 3 are the best. And then I believe the next one coming out is about one of the other sisters. But in my opinion, Rhysand, how the fuck do you say his dumb name? Rhysand gets like pretty unbearable and kind of misogynistic in Nesta's book, which is really weird. I don't know. I don't really like what Sarah J. Maas did with the characters after like the first 2 or 3 books. Let me look at my Goodreads. Ugh, this gnat. I love opening up Goodreads and their first review is somebody reviewing Onyx Storm and it says shit. It might be. Sydney, are you here? A Court of Thorns and Roses coloring book. I love how that's the first thing that pops up. Okay, yeah. The first 3 books, I gave the first book 3 stars, so it was like average. I gave the second book 4 stars, so that was my favorite one. The third book I gave 3 stars, so, and then the 3.5 book, that one is just like a filler book. It's like a Christmas holiday vibe. Gave that 2 stars. And then the 4th book I gave 2 stars. So I would say my average rating for the entire series is about 2 or 3 stars. Like, I see why people like it, but I know why people love it. I really understand because, like, the paranormal romance books I read growing up and that I still love, other people read them and they're like, ugh, this is like really immaturely written and the characters are annoying. But to me, I love them. So I understand, but I personally don't think it's like life-changing. No, my Joann's is not closing, actually. I got lucky. The Joann's I go to is the biggest Joann's in the state of Georgia. So I got lucky. I did get very lucky. Anyway, I keep saying I'm gonna go. Okay, bye guys. Bye. Bye. I'm gonna upload a video probably in a couple days, but thank you guys so much for coming, and I'll see you guys whenever. Bye.